Join me every Tuesday for fun and
Hey, what's happening? This is Smooth Tim and Larry E, and welcome to another episode of Tim's Tidbit. What's happening, Larry? How you
Chilling,
doing?
man. Literally chilling because it's cold.
It's cold in Texas.
Man, it's cold in Texas now, man. It's crazy now.
That is
Finally,
messed up.
though, it's supposed to be. See, the crazy. We get our winter time like close to summer. That's how it works down here.
Oh, I know this. I
Oh,
know
that's right.
this. Yep.
Yeah,
I consider myself partially a Texan.
yeah. I got stuck down here. When I was born down here. I'm stuck down here with all my
Hey,
exes.
all my exes in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck with all my exes in Texas. That's just the opposite of the song, isn't it?
You're right.
That's why I moved to
Left 'em.
Tennessee.
I'm stuck with mine.
Stuck with your exes in Texas. Oh man, no. Hey, we're like I said earlier, just before the show started. Yeah, we're experiencing a little bit of snow up north here, and I'm sure they, yeah, we're thinking about you obviously because that shit's coming up through Texas and into the up into the East Coast, and it looks like what is it? The New England states are really going to get their butt slammed. So hey,
Yeah, and we're
man.
actually lucky, and just it's just that we're not used to it. And no matter how many times it happens down here, if you're not used to it, you don't prepare for it. So we're not prepared for this. You know, you seen how we panic if a snowflake hit the ground, they shut everything down, shut it down, shut it all down, shut it down.
Well, I mean, you know what it is. They're not equipped. Come on. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many type of salt trucks and plow trucks and everything else, plus all these other people running around as private people with plows and stuff on. So it's not really an issue when you get up north. It truly isn't.
There's a rich dude in Texas. He got the only plows. He just ride around the highway looking at people. Just I'm
Laughing,
rich and I got a plow truck.
just laughing.
Who's a dick?
Hey man, on with what is going on, and obviously, anybody that even catches a brief glimpse of the television set has seen that it apparently the invasion is on, and Russia's decided they're going to help out. What is this? Independent parts of Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
something in the east. A couple of these different establishments or burgs or whatever they are over there. Have declared their independence, and now they're asking for assistance because they're being picked on. So I guess that gives Putin some precedence in the reason that he can jump in on Ukraine's turf. For what do they call it? Peacekeeping. Yeah,
Yeah, it's all about the way they word it. It's not it's invasion.
yep.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
you
Peacekeeping. I
word it
thought it
right. It's
was
gonna sound.
what was hilarious was Colbert was talking about it last night. He goes, peacekeeping mission. He goes, peacekeeping mission. He goes, yes, I keep a piece of this, I keep a piece of that.
Yeah, I remember.
And you're not getting it back.
That's an old joke. That's an old Jewish joke. I think it's hilarious.
Hey, and that's exactly what's going to happen. I understand their concerns, but I mean, my God, they're coming at them from the north, the south, the east. The only place they're not coming from is the west because that's Poland.
Oh, Poland's like, eh.
Yeah, Poland's like, Nix, I don't want to get involved in this one. Yeah, right. No. Yeah, yeah. But anyhow, I mean, it's going to have a heck of an impact on us. And a little bit. I wanted, and then we can get back to this. Let's take a quick look at this video that they're talking about. Even this is going to be hard on us as Americans, and we're just minorly involved.
Right.
So I'm just wondering, hey, what's coming?
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger joins us. Jill, we just laid out a lot, but in terms of the threat to American corporations and the uncertainty that we now have confronting the U.S. economy, how do you think this plays out?
Well, I think this has a far-reaching economic consequence, potentially. And it really starts with the flow of everything from petroleum products to maybe agricultural products like wheat, or maybe iron ore and aluminum. These products, these commodities have been soaring in price, and I think those higher prices are really going to make people think twice. Now, when we talk about the businesses truly have a real issue here because they may pull back on their spending. They may be worried about the supply chain. We just heard Chris Krebs talk about these cybersecurity threats. All of this put together weighs on so much of the economy. And I think what is clear is that investors have really started to pay attention to this over the last week or so. Markets had been selling off earlier in January, but we've seen a real escalation of fear creep into the marketplace. Right now, the S&P 500 through Friday's close is down about 9.3% from the high reached in early January, very close to the correction. I think these jitters are really going to keep some folks up over the next week or so.
And how do you think this will impact the Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates and that fight to get control of inflation?
Well, I think this puts the Fed in a pickle because we are looking at a situation that could slow down all of the progress, the economic progress that we've seen. It could slow things down in the future. And yet, the Ukrainian situation is inflationary at its core. And that means that these 40-year highs that we've seen in inflation here in the U.S., those high levels are due to persist. No wonder the Federal Reserve Chair Jay Powell said that they're monitoring the situation closely. I think they're in a tough situation, Margaret, in that they are truly forced to raise interest rates next month to contain prices, and yet that could be happening as the economy is slowing down.
Jill, it'll keep you busy. I know. Thank you for your analysis today.
Okay, see, here we go again. They saying because the economy is going to slow down, they have to raise prices. So they want to continue to make their money. So we always talk about money, man. It's crazy how the economy slows down, prices go up because people buy less, but the rich people still make money because they raise the prices. People still have to buy the same products at a higher price.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not. Yeah, they're going to pass that cost on to the consumer. I mean, you're feeling it at the gas pump now.
That's one thing I hate about war. Yeah, that's why I hate it. If war had no connection to like the economy, which it always does.
Always does.
And I'm like, okay, a war is a war. Okay, it happens. You got to support the war, but we're not even supporting this war. It's not even a war for America.
Yeah, indirectly, yeah, because we're,
it's not our war though.
Right, and it's not our war.
The consumers are still going to suffer the biggest hit because we have no control over the factories, the how can I say it, the trades. We have no control over how we get our products, how the products are made, and we are going to suffer. And it's not even our war.
It's gonna get interesting because they said, to your one point, yeah, it's not our war, and I think that so far they've made promises that we're not going to send any troops into that crap. Although we'll continue supplying them with military aid and financial aid.
Hey, that's better than troops.
But that's better than troops, and which I think they could, because
you can buy your troops then.
I think there's a percentage of the American population that's naive to the fact that once they get into Ukraine, what's to stop them to go into Poland? What's them to stop now that, and they're working on this gas line with them in Germany, hold Germany by the short hairs. This is your major natural gas supply, oil supplies, and it's, you don't, succumb to our way of thinking. I mean, that's a lot of power.
Just because of petroleum. And it has nothing to do with, see, at the end of the day, it has something to do with the money. It has really nothing to do with just, how can I say it? It's nothing like, because it's not like, it's not money. It's money. You see me? It's money. Okay, it's money, period. And then like it was a personal thing, like your mother has hair on her nose or something. Now they beefing. But it's territory and money and property, and it could have been an underlying reason why they're doing that, but they're really not going to say it.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, who knows what goes on in their minds. But anyhow, and then the other one that, let us not forget, I want to play another real quick clip here, and that goes to the fact that, we still need to worry about an alliance that Russia could have with China.
演习在行动的样式上体现新概念、新战法，采取饱和式火力突击、纵深空机降扼要、无人机蜂群突击等战法样式，探索实践及时聚优、多域联动、速决制胜的作战行动方法。
That's going to be a problem.
No, I'm thinking there's a lot of people did not know that they, have exercises together, and they're, so operationally rather, they're on the same page.
It's going to build a cohesion, man. Yeah. But that'll be a problem.
That, I don't think people realize, why we need to put our, stomp the fire out. That's what I told, Sylvia. I said, my best analogy of it is you need to stomp the fire out before it grows into a forest fire. I don't think people realize how it could get out of control.
Yeah, think about it. Say that the economy goes to crap, like it's already going to crap as it is, and then we have a war. Can you imagine the toll it's going to take on Americans when it comes to economy and prices and everything?
No.
But that's the whole point about having our presidents and these leaders. They're supposed to be the ones that talk about these things and smooth these things over because we elect them. No, that's why I say Biden, he's really not trying to get involved, but he's going to be forced to get involved. He's going to have to ally. We have our allies, of course, but he's going to have to get involved. Our country has to get involved. It's going to happen.
Well, that'd be like, we have a partnership. Yeah, Larry, I got your back. Anytime you need me, give me a holler. And you say, hey, man, there's like 12 people outside my house that want to stomp my ass. Can you come over at least? Right? Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. You help each other out when that situation arises. You don't take aggressive action. I'm not saying that, and apparently that's what Ukraine's being accused of in Russian television is, taking aggressive action, which may or may not be true. We don't know. We're fed what we're fed.
Exactly. Yeah.
But still, yeah, that's
If we know what we know, and we've seen how it fanned out in the end, and what really happened when talks break down and you start employing troops and start showing off your missiles and you start taking over. I think there was a setup. They were like, "Hey, it's gonna go down," and you start sending people to territory that you know for a fact not your territory. Then you got some problems. And
yeah.
then we also, you and I saw it coming.
Oh, we've been talking about this for some time.
And if they don't stump it out like you said, he's gonna be another one. But
And
do you think they can beat us?
no,
Yeah, they can't. They can't.
no. But
It takes two countries to train together to try to be better than one country. It's like fighting
between an alliance between Russia and China could be an issue. And and I said, and jokingly said, the next move would be, Putin making a call to the guy up in Canada, Trudeau. Hey, we are going to take Alaska back, and you do nothing, or we'll kick your ass.
Right.
And I mean, who's to say? Why not just go make a land grab over to Alaska, saying we're taking Alaska back, and
You said land grab.
we're not gonna on a peacekeeping mission for the Eskimos because they're saying you're messing up their seal.
And all the reason why they'll try to get some out of Alaska because there is some crude oil down there. They got the pipelines.
Well, you think about that too, yeah. You know what?
There's
a
nothing
lot
in Alaska that you really want. It's you don't know when it's gonna get dark or light, and there's a lot of mosquitoes. I heard.
They'd like those resources, though, wouldn't they?
Oh, those resources, the land.
Oh, the oil alone. That's why they got the Alaskan pipeline, man. Alaska's filled with oil.
Yeah, man. So there you go, man. That's
that'd
a good place
that'd
to
be
invade.
another one to do. A peacekeeping mission.
Right, they invade
We'll
Ukraine.
keep our eye on him. Who knows? I mean,
You said a land grab, though.
a land grab.
Hey, I'm finna go and grab this land right quick. You know what I'm saying? Not to grab back chips. I'm grab some land.
But the one thing I want to convey to the people that's listening to it, hi, Patrick Smitty's. Hi.
What's up, Pat?
Hey, what's
Smitty,
up, man?
Pat.
Anyhow, everybody that's listening is cover your six. On what's going on, and especially, when it comes, there's a lot of cyber attacks. Cyber attacks can include, going in on people's bank accounts, going into businesses. Even hacking into your own personal computer. And I know I got a little video clip I wanted to show. Arizona's beefing themselves up because they're already getting barraged. Yeah, the state of Arizona. So, this coming up is no joke either. This is going to be a part of what we're going to be dealing with throughout.
Next, from the rising tension, Arizona's Director of Homeland Security telling ABC 15 political reporter Mark Phillips it is not a question of if Russia will launch a cyber attack against the U.S. It is only a matter of when.
Arizona Cyber Command is now at its highest level of alert, expecting Russia to launch cyber attacks now that the president has announced sanctions. From breathing machines keeping COVID patients alive to well-timed traffic lights reducing congestion on our streets, we are a nation relying on technology. What makes us great makes us vulnerable. Arizona Director of Homeland Security Tim Romer says he's been in almost daily contact with federal officials leading up to Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
They've warned us to be prepared for the worst and that we should expect increased cyber attacks, likely from criminal organizations and nation states as part of an escalation.
Romer says the state's Cyber Command Center tracks between 5 and 7 million incidents every month. Approximately 2,000 of those threats are considered advanced or persistent. Nothing directly related to the Russian invasion yet, but
it could hit you at any hour of the day, any industry, any company.
Romer says vital infrastructure, like the power grid, utility companies, financial institutions, and hospitals are all considered potential targets for a cyber attack. Nothing will be off limits. Governments, businesses, and industry need to be alert.
Lower your thresholds for what meets a cyber incident. Lower your thresholds for what you're concerned about out of an abundance of caution.
For now, it's watch and wait. But Arizona Cyber Command Center says it's ready to face whatever threat comes. Mark Phillips, ABC 15, Arizona.
Yeah, that's important.
Yes, it is. Cover your six, because you never know. I'll tell you, and this is a real story from back when I was working uh, and was managing some servers at the time, and saw some odd behavior on the server. And once I traced back the URL that the odd behavior was coming from, and it came back out of Russia. So then I had to report that to Homeland Security. But that was some time back. So, I mean, this is nothing new that they make attacks on your system. You just have to have a firewall in place. And I mean, sometimes it can be inconvenient. You know, a lot of people don't like to have, password to get out. But, if something happens to your shit, you got yourself to blame.
Yeah, it's always good to have a passport. Cyber, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Cyber attacks.
You just need to make it difficulty. Again, it's like a door lock. Larry, I can put a lock on my door, but you can certainly kick it in if you wanted to.
It's going to happen. You just got to pray for the best and plan for the worst.
The lock is there just to try to slow you down or make you think about it.
Deter them.
Right.
A door is, what I'm saying? Forget the lock. It's a door.
Yeah.
So if there's no door, that means that you don't have it.
Free access into your shit, right?
Yeah, but you got a door and a lock, so then you need the door to lock and you need the cyber joint. So nowadays it's so complicated and people are so advanced. It ain't like it was when we was younger. It was simpler. Everything's more advanced now. People are ratchet, man.
Yeah,
every race of people are ratchet.
Times are changing. If somebody can make an easy dollar and it's off of your expense, well, then so be it. But again, hey, only because we give a shit that we're telling you, take care of yourself. And, if you don't have security in place on your laptops and on your phones where you are storing all kinds of data about yourself, get her done.
Yeah,
because it's just started.
Yeah, especially guys, if you got that real good porn, you better put that under some security.
That's right.
Worry about your wife. Your wife ain't got nothing on these guys.
You're terrible. Anyhow, hey man, let's moving on to something. We know that when Biden came into office, one of his campaign promises is that he's going to put a black woman on the Supreme Court. And it looks as if he's making good of that, and he's got that down to apparently 3 people. Let's see what they got going on here.
President Biden is spending the weekend at Camp David, where he will not only have a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin tomorrow, he'll also spend the weekend reviewing materials about his short list of Supreme Court contenders to replace retiring Justice Stephen Breyer. Things seem to be moving fast on that front. Last night, President Biden told NBC's Lester Holt in an interview that he's taken a deep dive on about 4 people. Today, several sources are telling NBC News the list is down to 3 women, Judges Ketanji Brown Jackson, Michelle Childs, and Leandra Kruger. As you know, the president promised to name a black woman to the job. The White House also weighed in about a dispute about one of those candidates today, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, thereby officially confirming that she's on the short list. The clock is ticking. Democrats want the interview process to begin as early as next week and the name of the final contender by the end of the month. We shall see. As Rachel says, watch this space.
I like Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Do you?
Yeah, because her name is just thinks. I think about what's that judge? Not Greg Mathis, but the other black judge.
Oh,
play that.
Jim Brown, not Jim Brown, but
it was a Jim Brown.
Yeah,
something. She's like a mixture between that guy and then like the old Hispanic lady. She had her own judge show.
Now let me ask you this. This is from a perspective. He comes in saying, "I'm gonna appoint the first black female into the Supreme Court," and apparently he's doing that, and he's filling his campaign promises. Is he doing the right thing by only narrowing it down to selectively black females? Should he have been a little bit broad-minded, or is he creating diversity in the court by what he's doing? What's your opinion?
I think he's creating diversity, which we need diversity in every aspect of our lives, okay? Whether it's the Supreme Court, whether it's like your job, whether it's like just even restaurants or student council or a city council or whatever, we need diversity. And he said he was going to get a black woman because he deemed it necessary to have a black woman as a Supreme Court justice. He says we need one, and evidently he's the president that he knows what he's talking about because he's the president, and he has. I'm just saying, you understand though? He ain't Trump.
Oh, I understand having, yeah. And I mean, if you look at it, sometimes we're not, if you look at the face of our nation, it doesn't really truly represent our nation.
It doesn't represent diversity. It doesn't represent who we are as a United States of America. We are the melting pot compared to any other country in the world. We have every race of people here. Everybody wants to be here in America. Everybody wants to be in America. I don't care what anybody say, whether you're Puerto Rican or Asian or Jew. I don't care. Whether you're African American, Black, or Jamaican or Haitian. Everybody loves that American attitude, that American swag. Everybody wants to be American. And I Senate, I House of Representatives, I Senate, Supreme Court, regular court. When it goes to the police forces, all these major judicial branches or judicial outlets that run our country is not diverse enough. We need diversity. What about Lyndon B. Johnson? Lyndon B. Johnson did more for Black people, American people, Black Americans than any president.
What makes you say that?
No one would ever touch what Lyndon. Listen, if you're watching this show, Google Lyndon B. Johnson. Google what he did with Martin Luther King and what he did for Black Americans. How he changed our outlook. He changed my outlook on presidents and white men in general. Okay, because I'm just telling you, there's a bunch of assholes prior to him. They didn't give a fuck about Black folks. That dude came in and said, "We're going to make it right. We're going to do the right thing." Kennedy was assassinated, of course. So, am I right?
Yeah.
So had Kennedy not been assassinated, that probably never would have happened. So that's fate. All I'm saying is Joe Biden has a female Black president. She's half Black, half white, Asian, or
Asian Black, yeah, mix.
Yeah, so it's right. Diversity.
That kind of makes sense. Yep.
She's a woman.
And putting a Black female in there. I mean, I would be interested to see. I don't really know enough about the three candidates to sit there and say, yeah, that's really a good representation of the Black culture, especially the Black female culture, because they're definitely probably one of the most unheard voices in America.
Yeah, you got Beyonce. She ain't getting Oprah now. I'm just
Cheryl
Underwood.
She
can be good. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, but think about it. In reality, the Black female was repressed a lot more than the Black male for a longer time.
Hey, this is history. This is true. They gave Black slaves, Black men, during all the civil rights bullcrap, before civil rights, the ability to vote before they gave white women the right to vote. And then Black women, then if you're immigrants, you're really screwed.
I'm just saying.
So think about how far women, think about how far Black women.
I'm just thinking how far women have came in general, but yeah.
Women in general, they're doing well now. And then women have contributed. What war was that when all the guys went to fight and all the women held it down? They worked the factories.
World War II. Oh, when they had the gunny girl, yeah, whatever, yeah.
Man, women are the most
resilient, aren't they?
Yeah, we resilient. We men though, so I ain't gonna sit here and downplay us because we real men. I'm saying give them their due. Give Black women their due. Give white women their due. Give any woman their due that's an American that's doing what's right for America.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes when it goes, because they got to get what confirmed in the House and the Senate and all that other BS. Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see how that goes and how that.
It's sad that it has to just be. I'm gonna get a Black woman, because when you put Black in front of anything, you basically saying this is separate from everything else. You see what I'm saying? Then you consolidate Black.
Well, that's kind of why and I brought up when I first asked the question to you, I said, instead of, really looking at a whole field of qualified candidates, although they may very well be the most qualified candidates, and they happen to be Black females. I don't know, but I understand the motivation.
You put woman or man or Black or white or whatever, Asian in front of something, it creates controversy.
Because they're a candidate, right?
Yeah, it creates controversy.
For the position.
I'm going to say that. If you say white man or man and he white, ain't nobody say nothing then. But when you say woman and then put Black or Mexican or man and put Mexican or Asian or something in front of it, in America, people got a problem. When you start putting that ethnicity or that whatever that label in front of it, if it's not a white man, people got a problem.
I
And
would
that's just how
almost
our
think you're
country is.
alluding to the fact that there may still be racism in America.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you see it every day. Man. You see it every day. When you if you say man, if you say candidate and then they see just a white man, okay, that's cool. But the candidate woman, then she having to be black now. Now all of a sudden she had to be Asian or Mexican. Don't let her be an immigrant. If it's an immigrant woman, they sure losing their damn mind. You gonna put an immigrant as a Supreme Court? Is she, she better be full American. But luckily, the black women are full Americans.
I would be interested to know, and I don't know, is there a indigenous American on the Supreme Court?
No, last time I looked, there was like a brother.
Yeah, I know there's a couple of black men.
And there's some white women on there.
And couple of white women, but yeah.
And everything else is white men, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much it's all white men.
Yeah, they need to just diversify that, man. Wouldn't it be so fun to see your House of Representatives when you see those guys do their talks and everything? You see a Hispanic guy sitting in the back with the suit on, or a black guy sitting in the back with the suit on, or a woman with the suit on, or a black woman or Asian. Anybody that's a true American, if they from here, standing back, because every time I look at these speeches in the houses, you have Barack Obama, and maybe you don't have enough diversity there. Or you have just all white guys. You never have all women. I'm like, you don't want to have all one thing. We need more diversity. I love seeing diversity.
Well, I mean, and you're starting to see it in some things, and I think that there's a lot of attention being drawn to it. Look what's happening in the NFL.
Yeah, they're trying.
But now you're starting to see that, okay, well, I'm going to have a female referee. Why should I exclude females from roughing the game?
If she can do the job.
If she can do the job, let her do the job. They've got athletic trainers and assistant coaches now that are females.
Why not?
Why not? If they're a qualified candidate.
They went to school the same way a man did, got the same education.
Yeah, why the hell not?
Oh, yeah, you heard about the soccer. I should have told you about the soccer. You heard what happened with the soccer thing, didn't you? The women's soccer team?
Mm-mm.
They settled a lawsuit for like $24 million. For equality lawsuit. We'll get to that next year. We'll pull it up next week. That'll be one of our topics. Diversity and equality for women.
Equality for women. That'll start something.
But no. Hold on. I ain't gonna just throw us on the wayside.
Yeah, I gotta throw us under the bus on that one. Totally.
At the end of the day, if you got the same degree, you did the same job, and you got the same level of education as not the education, but experience. There's nowhere in the world that you should not be able to hold that position.
Yeah, it comes with your credentials. And really, you should. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they should just blank out the name and the sex, and you should just get the credentials when you're looking at a job applicant.
Our next Supreme Court justice. They should say Supreme Court justice. Don't say black women. Don't say white man. Don't say black man. You ain't got to say none of that crap. White woman, just say the next Supreme Court justice.
Here's the resume.
Put them in there, and it won't be no controversy. And people won't even carry it in because they already be there. They'll look at it. Okay, you got a brother, some white women, but it's all bull crap. It's all racist.
Hey,
racism.
And
discrimination.
It's always discrimination against somebody. And that's why they're having the Freedom Convoy.
Yeah, white people get discriminated against too. Everybody gets
and the truckers are complaining that they're getting discriminated against. And remember the truckers that were up in Canada?
Yeah.
Blocking Ottawa and blocking the bridge between...
How you gonna hate a trucker?
Windsor and Detroit and all... Yeah, truckers. Anyhow, they had a problem, and apparently now they're convening all around the country. And they're gonna roll into Washington this coming week. Check this out.
A prayer circle assembled nearby a collection of big rigs praying for safe travels come Wednesday and protection. The group was in Adelanto, California, forming a day ahead of the departure of the Peoples Convoy, a cross-country trucker trip heading from California to Washington, D.C. to demonstrate their interest and a national emergency declaration for COVID-19.
This is a movement of the people of the United States of America.
Two men, a trucker driver and a passenger heading en route on the convoy, spoke to their concerns on what drives them to be a part of the convoy.
Truckers are tired of all the mandates, not to mention the price of fuel for these truck drivers. Look, I mean, come on, guys. California alone's over 5 something a gallon. Truckers can't afford that.
And then there was Ron Coleman from Reno, who bristled when asked if the convoy will shut down Washington when it arrives.
You know, that's not part of the goal. There are going to be entities that say, let's lock it down, but that's not the goal. The goal is to bring the American people to being awake, for them to question their politicians.
Another concern, the potential of violence in the Capitol.
This is 100%, 150% a peaceful level, First Amendment right of assembly, peaceful assembly. We advocate zero violence.
The Review Journal will be covering the convoy as it makes its first stop in Kingman, Arizona. For the Las Vegas Review Journal, I'm James Schaefer.
What do you think of that?
That's American, man. Freedom of speech and petition. Yeah, freedom to assemble. Yeah, man, I like it. I'm like, they say it's gonna be peaceful, but they'll just keep Trump from over there. Trump gonna shut all that stuff down.
Oh, you'd be 100% behind it.
Keep Trump out of that.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, I do support the right for people to protest. I mean, you know, we've been protesting all our lives. I mean, you know,
from the 1600s.
And that is all great and good. My concern gets to be to the fact of like what they did in Detroit and Windsor and up in Ottawa. And when you sit there and block other people from being able to access a route that takes them to their money, or it's a supply chain to get goods so people can eat. I mean, then you're screwing over the wrong people. I understand you wanting to get your point across, wanting to have a voice, but when you start interfering with other people, it's no longer really on you. Yeah, now it's affecting me, and you're starting to piss me off.
Well, they need a better organizer. I think it has to be some kind of controversy. I think it's got to be something that's going to wake up.
Well, I mean, if you sit there and get 1,000 trucks that roll in, and if they would do it in an orderly fashion, you don't think that would still make a statement?
I think it'll make a statement. I think it still has to be just something else. I ain't going to say stop you from living, stop you from your everyday life, stop you from taking care of your family.
Well, that's what they did up in. That's what they did in Detroit and Windsor.
They're wrong. They're wrong for that. You know, you can't do that. I'm like, because the people that didn't have anything to do with the prices of the gas and the COVID laws, you can't hold them accountable. You know, you can't do that. That's not right. You know, that part of the part I don't support. But I support petitions. If it's organized, I support it. If it's organized and well arranged, and the people that are running it, and they're your spokesman or spokeswoman, it can articulate everything they're doing and say well, and it makes sense, and you can actually move forward. I really believe in petitioning. I really believe in assembling. I really believe in that. I want to be a part of stuff like that. We had some of that down here in Dallas, but it wasn't organized, and some people got killed. Even Martin Luther King, the greatest assembler in history, he still has some issues with loose cannons. But
you're gonna you're gonna have people that are right wing to your cause.
Yes, and that's right? Why I say it's
that's going to happen. And just, you know, you can call them right wing, left wing activists, or whatever, that feel strongly one way and or the other. But yeah, you're always going to have those, and they're going to take the opportunity to try to, you know, start something.
Could have been that one bad apple,
and that's all.
Could have been one guy, one woman, and one man with a great idea, and it takes one bad apple. And next thing, and those guys, that men or women that did that, they could have been those bad apples. It could have been, say it was 50 trucks. And those are big trucks. 50 trucks did the thing. They did everything right. No, it was 50 trucks, but 10 of them decided to do their own thing. Those 10 truckers, what they did is going to reflect on the whole outcome, the whole the idea of what the originality of what the whole plan was. Because what those 10 truckers did, it was just 10 out of 50.
Well, yeah, and I believe I think you're on point with that, because they were showing some film of them organizing outside of California, and they had, I don't know, maybe about 30 trucks, but there was probably about 300 four-wheel vehicles.
No, that's too many people.
And
Man.
I'm sitting there thinking, now I understand, but therein lies the problem is when you get people who may not really be a trucker, who may not really have a stake in the game, so to speak.
They just want to be.
They just want to get
seen.
involved, and they want to be seen. They want to be a part of it, and that's usually part of what you alluded to. There's where the problem starts.
Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all those, even Susan B. Anthony, a lot of those, Harriet Tubman. I don't care who it was. It's always somebody part of your crew that wants to be seen, that doesn't really care about the movement. They want to be seen. They want to reap the benefits, if not just be seen, if everything works out.
And somehow work their agenda in.
Yeah, it's all crap. Some people just idiots. They ain't got nothing to do. That's I'm gonna get a truck and get part of this. That's how I think truckers talk. Yeah, I'm gonna get my truck and join in with the truck thing, get my dip. Yeah,
10-4.
I don't know if they talk like that, but
they don't talk like that anymore. I don't believe.
Look, I'm from around these guys. I'm like, come on, we don't know.
No. I mean, you got some very educated people out there now driving truck.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, and it's a good business.
And honestly, if it can be fun. A lot of people I know that drive, they like it. It could be fun.
Oh, I would imagine it probably could be, especially if you've got that gypsy type of spirit in you. What a great job that would be.
And the money ain't bad.
No.
Say if you're a full-time trucker, all you do is drive your trucks, and you sleep in your truck. That means you're accumulating all that income, and you're not worrying about paying mortgage. You're not worried about this. You're not any ends of income on anything else because you're always in your trunk. You're always moving loads.
I would sit there and think that an average trucker, and I may be wrong, would easily be able to have a 3-figure job with no problem. And as you said, with nominal expenses besides fuel.
And I can understand what they're saying when it comes to gas prices and how they've been treated, because when you're a trucker, you got to go to certain stops, take showers, do this and do this and do this and do that. All that stuff is going up. It's very inconvenient. COVID especially is very inconvenient. Like I said, Tim, one time when I was traveling with this company I work with, we were doing the same thing. We was in Colorado, we was in Montana, we was in New Mexico, we were traveling. When COVID hit, it was hard for us to find places to eat, because I couldn't drive my truck into a McDonald's, because McDonald's wasn't open on the inside, and I couldn't pull that truck up under the thing in order to go. And they didn't say and sometimes we'd just find places. It was tough. So I can imagine what they're going through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, in fact, anytime you're trying to deploy people with this COVID going on, and that's trying to find them a place where you can keep them safe, where you can, and, because now I wouldn't even keep my people into a hotel. I'd keep them in motels, with the outside entrances. So now
those?
Huh?
What, you like the motels?
Yeah, because they have outside entrances. That's the difference between a motel and hotel. Hotels inside entrance, motels outside entrance.
The motels we went to, it's like I went to one room, it was smoked out, and it was still chalk on the floor. So they killed the dog and they killed the roaches.
Oh man,
they gonna kill all the roaches.
No, they didn't.
They killed all the roaches. I'm like, it was like 5,000 little roach trucks all over the floor.
Where they killed the roaches? Oh man, body bags, bug bags all over.
Body bag of roach. Okay, let's stop.
No, unreal. But I could imagine. No.
It's tough.
It's complicated. It's complicated.
It's tougher right now being a trucker if you're doing long hauls, but if you're doing short hauls, where I got my 2 cousins. I got one cousin work for UPS. He goes, drops off, comes back. My other cousin, 3 of them. I got a cousin that drives for UPS. I got a cousin that does a McDonald's company, and then I have another cousin that drives for FedEx.
Mm-hmm.
But they do more local stuff. It's harder for you when you do long distance hauls.
Yeah.
Because you got to go and you stand out. You might be out for a week or 2 weeks. You might be out for the whole month. And you're sleeping in your truck. Or longer. So.
Yeah, because we know families that, a couple of months and the old man's gone.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a tough hustle, man. But at the end of the day, they pay real decent money, and you can easily clear about $100,000+ a year.
I said easy, a 3-figure job, no problem.
Easy,
no problem.
Guaranteed.
So, but yeah, when your overhead starts going to $5-6 a gallon,
He got that big old tank.
You got those big old tanks sucking, and I don't know,
like,
what do they get? Maybe 10,
no,
12?
they got 2 tanks.
What do they maybe get, like 10 or 12 miles of the gallon, maybe, yes?
Can you imagine that? That's like the triple figures, you down to like almost, that's like at least about 30. I don't even know, I'm not a truck driver, but it's bad. They work for companies, though, so they don't accrue those costs. Those costs go to the company.
So think about it. It costs you $50 to drive 100 miles?
Okay, I'm going to tell you this right now. I have a van, and it takes $100 to fill my van up at 7-Eleven. $100 for a van, and it used to take $50, so it's double. So it means that if it doubled for my van, whatever it took for the truck driver with 2 tanks, it has double.
And think of the price of diesel. You look at the price of diesel.
It's high.
It is like $2 higher than gas. I'm like,
yes. Man. So it could was quadruple. And that's a lot of money.
That's insane. That's insane. Hey, another thing that we were talking about earlier too before we came on the show. Obviously, you've got these people that are working on the road now, and we've got dealing with this COVID. Kind of ties into what you're saying. People are having to work at home. So, yeah, I mean, you know, and genuinely, you know, since they're going to give you a device so that you can get your work done, right?
Right.
All we're saying is you better be careful with that device because your boss is truly watching you.
If you use an employer-issued computer, just know that it's definitely not business as usual. Every keystroke you make could be monitored. A hacker in a hoodie isn't to blame. Keyloggers record your every keystroke for upper management. That means personal emails, passwords, and conversations on social media are all fair game. Even scarier, employers can remotely turn on the webcam or take screenshots of a worker's computer screen. The software runs in the background, and you wouldn't know it's there unless you checked for it. If you want to see if you're being monitored, most antivirus products pick up software keyloggers, according to the cybersecurity director at the Electronic Frontier Foundation. A security researcher tells Mashable if you have a Mac, go to System Preferences. Then click Security and Privacy. From there, click the Privacy tab and open Accessibility and look for programs you don't recognize. You should be able to deny shady programs from having access to your computer. Tech website PC World says another giveaway is when you notice your mouse or keystrokes pausing as you type or move the mouse. It could just be a slow computer. If you do find that your company device has a keylogger, security experts say don't use it for anything personal. You shouldn't expect privacy rights anyway, according to the head of the National Rights Institute. Always reach for your private smartphone instead.
I think you made that exact remark, didn't you, when we were talking about that?
Mm-hmm.
You got, stick on your own phone and watch what you're putting on that computer at work. And I can tell you from, and there's another thing, because I worked out of a 911 center, so I managed the computers and everything in the 911 center. So that would be from the call taking to the dispatching of whatever emergency service was necessary, right?
Right.
And it monitored every keystroke, even your backspaces, your mistakes, whatever you did, but every keystroke was recording.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and basically that was, so you could record what the person says and or if something happened down the line, there's no way it could be covered up. This is exactly, this is exactly what was said. Here's everything. To the second, it's time date stamped. But I mean, it's all CYA for businesses. And I mean, I understand their perspective on that too. Let's say that you made some type of a threat to your wife, on a messenger on your computer. Well, now your wife says, well, he used that computer at work. And so they're partially liable because they gave him that tool to do it.
That's true. Yeah, it could be a legal issue.
There could be a lot of different issues.
That's the hard part about it. Working at home, I would never want to work at home. I never want to work at home, so because they can't do you like that. So I wouldn't want to work at home.
I work at home, but I don't monitor myself. Maybe I should start monitoring myself. See what
I'm like, you can
what I'm doing.
That's like a headache. I'm like, you already got to work at home, then watch yourself. I'm like,
I mean, but you can understand the importance in some of it. So people just need to be aware. Again, I mean, we talked about that with, keeping your six covered on your own personal computer, from these cyber attacks. Same thing comes to this. Don't think for a second that, that PC sitting in front of you is not taking pictures, isn't recording keystrokes or anything else. I mean, if you think otherwise, you're being very, very naive.
That's true. That's very true. That's one topic that I don't know a lot about because I've never actually had the opportunity to work from home. But when it comes to computers and the technology, you really got to be more careful compared to the computers from yesterday because those computers are obsolete, and technology is different, and people have changed.
Oh yeah.
And I wouldn't want to know what my employees are doing if they're off. I'm like, that's their personal time. They could be some perverts or something. They could be doing some crazy crap.
Well, how do you know that somebody's not trading child porn on the computer that you gave them, Larry?
That's true too. And then it could be a legal liability if it falls back on the company. So if I were a business owner,
yeah, he's got all those images up on your cloud, your business cloud.
Yeah, I would tell them, I'm monitoring this computer. So if you do anything dirty or wrong on it, you will be held accountable.
Oh, we told them right from and they were very well aware from that. When you walked into our center, there were cameras everywhere, and it said you are under continued surveillance. And the people that were on the machines knew that everything that they did was recorded. Anytime they pushed a radio button, it went into a digital recording and got archived, and you couldn't do anything to it. There was no way I or anybody else could ever erase those. That was this permanent record that was there, and it was there for legality reasons.
Yeah, but that's part of you having your job, and then a company should tell you. But you should automatically know anyway. If you get a laptop from your company or a cell phone, I have a cell phone from the company I work with, and I don't look at porn or anything on there. I don't do anything at the first on there. I don't say, how can I pull up, how can I kill my boss and not get caught, or how can I strangle my wife and not leave.
And you realize that when you're when you're Googling stuff or you're text messaging your wife, hey, baby, I've got something for you later on. Your boss has, I mean, seriously. And then,
yeah, it's true.
Your boss has access to it. Even if not directly, he can take your phone from you because it's his damn phone.
Hey, you don't do it on your work phone. You just don't do that. That's just unprofessional across the board. You don't do it on your computer. It's unprofessional across the board.
We ought to do a segment on just like, don't be a dumbass. We can cover a bunch of different topics.
That might be my thing.
Don't be a dumbass.
Yeah. If
think
you got
things
the asshole
through.
of the week, I'm gonna try to find like the dumbass of the week, or something, or find something where somebody did fitness wise, or the dumbass in the gym of the week. I'll figure something out.
Dumbass of the you could, and then you had to bring it up, man. So I know it's one of our favorite parts. All right, and
got my shirt on,
and we always have to sit there and say, who could be our asshole of the week?
That's fine. But I know it's gonna be good.
Of course, it's gonna be good. Anyhow, here we go, folks. Drum roll.
So Putin is now saying it's independent, a large section of Ukraine. I said, how smart is that? And he's going to go in and be a peacekeeper. That's the strongest peace force. We could use that on our southern border. That's the strongest peace force I've ever seen. There were more army tanks than I've ever seen. They're going to keep peace all right. No, but think of it. Here's a guy who's very savvy. I know him very well, very, very well.
And the Washington Post put it this way tonight. Trump's reaction to Putin's invasion of Ukraine is exactly as you'd expect. His characteristic praising of Putin stood in contrast to the reaction from some Republicans on Capitol Hill. This was close Trump ally Senator Lindsey Graham earlier today.
I'd like to go after Putin and his cronies as hard as we can. I would like to make life miserable for Putin and those who support him, because if we don't, other bad actors are going to move quickly in other areas.
Can you believe Trump?
Yep.
You know, hey, why didn't I think of that when it came to the southern border? I'm like, what, are you going to send troops like down there? What were those Dominicans and stuff? And you're going to what? Shoot artillery at them?
I didn't know he was going to pull Trump up. I'm like,
that was Tuesday night. He made that. He was on some talk show. And that was a recording from the talk show Tuesday night. So 2 days ago, yes. He made that.
Trump.
That was Trump. And I was like, well, that's why some of these other Republicans are trying to hands off. But they're so freaking scared of him.
Because he got, like, people love Trump.
How could you?
You know what, Tim? Think about all the dumb shit he did in office. And people still love him. He had the erection to run up on the nation's capital and tear that shit up. And people will still come to his rallies. And listen, these are like American white people, not the black people in America. Like the other dude said, the other dickhead said, you know, these when we say Americans and then black people, these are the Americans. They would show up at this dude's rally and support this dude and love this dick. They love him. How would you not be afraid of someone that can fuck up totally at the highest position you can have in the country and people still love him?
I have no idea. I can't believe that he would even make a statement like that, you know, thinking
I
that.
believe it.
Thinking
I'd be shocked if he said anything other. If he was like, listen, America should be better to other countries. We should support. If he said, what the fuck is wrong with him? I'd be like, Trump.
You know, it makes you kind of wonder, what do you think would be his perspective if he was still in office and this was going on with Putin coming into Ukraine? Do you think he would just say, well, it's a great idea. Fuck you, too bad, Ukraine.
I swear to God he would. Golly, he would have. It'd have been, I would have just laughed. The only time I didn't laugh when Trump made some statements is when he said the COVID thing will blow over. He was wrong, way wrong.
Oh, well, yeah, he was way wrong on that one. Yeah, he was just.
But everything else he said, it was hilarious. And I said, this dude's a fucking idiot.
I don't know what to say. That was, I guess, not surprising. But I'm glad that he was our nominee for Asshole of the Week. We really appreciate you, Don. You know, it makes us happy.
He does. I see people just blatantly just assholes.
You can be such an asshole. That's correct. Anyhow, hey, let's get to talk. Uh-oh. I hear somebody talking to you in the background.
Are we good? Oh, the background jacked up?
No. I got you. There we are. Anyhow, get to the end of the show. I like to do the weekly fitness tip from Larry E. LRE Fitness.
I'm gonna show you. Oh, check this out, people. Let's talk about water. On a daily average, a male should be drinking around 15 cups of water just on a daily average. You know, and a female should be drinking about 11 cups of water on a daily average. That's just typical daily. Walking around, going to work, nothing is strenuous, no exercising, nothing like that, just water. Now, if you go to the gym and your exercising lasts more than an hour and it's very strenuous and you sweat a lot, you should use something like Gatorade or something like Pedialyte to replenish your electrolytes because you start feeling dehydrated. So remember, water is very essential for the human body. So drink water. You ain't got to just overdrink it, but at least drink water. Especially if you drink a lot of alcohol. Drink water first, and then everything else you drink it later, but drink your water. Men, remember, 15 cups, women, 11 cups. That's my tip from LRE Fitness. You can follow me and check me out on Facebook at LRE Fitness. And you can check me out on Instagram at STL Junior Larry and LRE Fitness. Thank you.
Fantastic. Hey, and you can follow me, Tim McGiff, on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those above sites. Again, if you would, go to the YouTube site, and that would be www.thequeensilvershow.com, and there's content from all three of the shows that we're involved in, as well as some other movies and cartoons and other things like that we do. But yeah, go to The Queen Silver Show on YouTube, and please subscribe. Otherwise, you know what, Larry? I think that, water is the source of life. You know, and I think, I think it's very important people do understand exactly what you said. Keep yourself hydrated above all. I mean, a lot of these people like to have these diets that they don't really eat well. But I still think that it's highly important you keep yourself hydrated no matter what.
Yeah. If you work outside for like maybe a couple hours in your yard, you ain't got to be a professional athlete. If you sweat a lot, you work outside past an hour in the hot sun, you get it ready, use electrolytes. Drink water also, but you want to use those to replenish your electrolytes. You're going to lose your salts and everything like this. Very essential. But you got to drink water daily. And you'll feel the difference when you drink water and don't drink water.
Fantastic. Hey, man, it is top of the hour, and we are out of here. So until next week on Tim's Tidbits, Larry E. and Smooth Tim. Peace, man.